do if your fuel tank is full of algae on your diesel? You have a diesel and your tank is full of algae. Welcome to the world of rescuing an older Mercedes diesel. Now, before we start this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. And if you're supporting us in Patreon, we really appreciate it. If you haven't supported us in Patreon yet, don't worry, we'll still answer your questions, but we really appreciate the Patreon support. And leave your comments or questions below. Now we're going to dive into this fascinating topic. So diesel fuel is not only a rust suppressant, but it is also teeming with chemicals that help algae grow. Algae is a very adaptive organism. Some people claim it's a plant, some people claim it's an animal, but whatever it is, it loves diesel and will grow in diesel fuel. In fact, you can have cars that have been on the road for years that have algae growing in their tank, and then all of a sudden, a big clump of algae falls off the ceiling just like wilted mistletoe 2 days after Christmas and blocks the fuel tank strainer, causing the car to lose power and die, repeatedly clogging filters, inhibiting power, creating a surging feeling when going down the road, leading to loss of acceleration, and causing the car to starve for fuel when there still might be half a tank of fuel in the fuel system. So, what models are affected by algae? Easy answer. Any and all Mercedes Benz diesels. Any and all Mercedes-Benz diesels, especially ones that have been sitting for a long time. So you can have a car as new as a 99 E300 turbo diesel that can have algae in the tank. Now, let's go to how to deal with algae. The first step is to pull the tank strainer and see if you have algae covering the strainer. This involves draining the tank. What you want to do is you want to look around inside and feel around inside the tank and gauge just how much algae there is. Sometimes the remains of algae will simply pop up around the strainer, but they won't be glued to the insides of the tank or thick on the floor of the tank. So in that case, you could just clean your strainer, maybe flush your tank out with some alcohol, clean all your fuel lines, and you're good to go. But if you have a tank where there's so much algae in it that you can't flush it out around the strainer hole, you've got to pull the tank. Pulling the tank on a 123 series, 126 series, 124 series, or similar car is not as challenging as one would think. It's mounted through the trunk. You undo all the fuel lines underneath. You unplug the fuel sending unit. You pull the partition in the trunk that hides the fuel tank, and then you undo the four nuts that hold the fuel tank in, and you just swing the fuel tank out from the left side first so that you don't bend your fuel filler neck and just slide the tank out. Now, once this is done, you want to get all the diesel out, all of it out, and then you want to get a pressure washer and pressure wash the inside of the tank using the strainer hole, the fuel filler neck, the fuel sender hole, any hole you can. You want to pressure wash the inside of that sucker till all the algae is gone. It doesn't hurt to use a little bit of soap either. Once you're done, use a light to inspect the inside of the tank for any rust. Usually if I see some rust in the bottom of a diesel tank, it doesn't bother me because as long as there's no algae in there, the rust is just not going to grow. You might get some, but it's not going to be awful. I've seen one car that had irresolvable rust. This was an 82 240D that I had worked on years ago that belonged to my friend Hannah, and we ended up having to put another tank in the car, but that was really it. That was the only one. So once you flush the tank, mind you, this applies to all of the Mercedes with diesel engines. Again, okay, just so you know, so even the floor-mounted tanks, 114, 115, 123 wagon, 126, 124, any Mercedes diesel, pressure wash the inside of the tank to get it clean. Just get all the algae out of there. Now you can run a biocide after that, such as heat, H-E-E-T, or you can even use rubbing alcohol, and that will kill the algae. But what you want to do is you want to get all of it out. On cars that have a low-hanging fuel tank, like a 115 or a 123 wagon, you want to flush the fuel supply pipe from the main fuel line to the bottom of the tank because that can build up algae as well. And in fact, it's a really bad source of algae. Most people don't even realize that it can cause that problem, but you know, by flushing your tank out this way, you're going to be just fine. Now, if you enjoyed this video, again, please subscribe to our channel, and I will stress to you that I will always answer your comments or questions, especially if you email me. But in the meantime, enjoy driving your Mercedes Benz, and in a later video we'll talk about what to do with the rest of your fuel system once algae has been ingested. So have fun cleaning your tank and enjoy driving your Mercedes Benz.